What's up guys, Mike here, and if you are watching this video, that probably means you are a fan of basketball, which also means you are a fan of high school basketball mixtapes. In recent years, high school mixtapes have become a staple of the internet basketball community, and today we are going to be looking at 7 players who had the absolute best high school mixtapes / high school clips of all time. Now, before we get started, I do want to say these players are in no particular order, and if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. It helps out a ton. With that said, it's time to watch some insane clips that, like I said in the title, are so incredible that some people thought they were fake. It has been nearly 10 years since he graduated high school, so this might be difficult to remember, but Austin Rivers was once seen as a potential superstar in the early 2010s. A unanimous top 3 player in the class of 2011, one scout even stated at the time, no one has his skill set, no one has his ability, and he's gotten athletic now. He has the highest ceiling of any of the kids in the senior class. That is a ridiculous statement when you consider that Anthony Davis was also in the class of 2011. But we have to remember that at the time, as a high school junior, Austin Rivers would challenge and beat Paul Pierce in his prime in a game of one-on-one. Rivers would then go on to destroy Kendrick Perkins, but then eventually when he challenged Kevin Garnett to a one-on-one game, it would be KG who came up on top. As Garnett recalls,
he hated losing. He wanted to fight. I said, boy, you don't get out of here, boy. The way he was reacting, he was acting like he was a pro already.
He had the swag to him,
he
too.
Was hot. And you know what? 2 years he was in our league.
Yes, that's right. Austin Rivers wanted to fight Kevin Garnett after losing to him. It was this mentality that had many comparing a young Austin Rivers to Kobe Bryant, which again seems absurd now, but watching these clips, you can see that when he was in high school, Rivers had a knockdown shot to go along with what looked like incredible athleticism. Many people already had him penciled in as a future multi-time all-star, and that hasn't happened, but still, Austin Rivers will always go down as a mixtape legend. And moving on here to a player who has also been a disappointment in the NBA, but might still have all-star potential, we have Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins was the consensus #1 overall high school player in the class of 2013, and is famously known for once having the nickname Maple Jordan, as many thought he was Canada's version of Michael Jordan. And in fact, at the time, some scouts even considered Wiggins the greatest basketball prospect since LeBron James. And I know, just like Austin Rivers, these comparisons seem absurd now, but when we look back at how Andrew Wiggins performed as a high school prospect, and when we look at these high school highlights that make it seem like the man could fly, the hype does start to kind of make sense. I mean, Wiggins was a player who first reached the national scene by dropping 22 points as a 15-year-old in the 2010 FIBA tournament against older prospects such as Bradley Beal. Also, at this time, it was reported that Wiggins recorded a 44-inch vertical leap. Because of this, many thought Andrew Wiggins was on his path to NBA stardom, and the assistant GM for the Canadian national team, Rowan Barrett, who also happens to be RJ Barrett's dad, also stated at the time, quote, "It was very clear to anyone who knows basketball that we had a phenom on our hands." It is because of these highlights, it is because of this hype that many have been incredibly disappointed in Andrew Wiggins' career so far. It has always been a criticism that Andrew Wiggins was born with all of the natural talent in the world, and for whatever reason, be it that he's not working hard enough or he just doesn't have that mindset, Wiggins has not become the NBA star that many expected, and instead has become a disappointment. We will see if that changes in Golden State, but for now, the Andrew Wiggins we have seen in these highlights just does not match up to the Andrew Wiggins we have seen in the league. With that said, let's move on to a player who is not as known as Andrew Wiggins, but is currently in the NBA and is going to be in the dunk contest very soon. Because while Derrick Jones Jr. has certainly shocked the NBA world with his earth-shattering head above the rim one-handed monster dunks, it was back in high school where this reputation began. In June of 2015, when Jones Jr. was graduating high school, Ball is Life crowned him as the best dunker in the nation in a video that currently has over 1.5 million views. And as you can see from these highlights, that reputation was very, very well deserved. And Derrick Jones Jr. was a player who dreamed about dunking from an early age, and unsurprisingly, first dunked a basketball before he entered 7th grade. Yes, you heard that correctly, the man was dunking shortly after elementary school. As it turns out, however, Derrick Jones Jr.'s ability to dunk actually became a curse at times, because with this ability came a stigma that he had to overcome. A stigma that he wasn't a great basketball player, but was just a great dunker. And so out of all of the players we are talking about today, Derrick Jones Jr. in high school was ranked as the lowest recruit. This would also eventually lead to Jones Jr. going undrafted. However, luckily NBA teams noticed his talent, went beyond his dunking, and he has certainly carved out a role in the NBA, as this season he's averaging close to 9 points per game. With that said, it is the dunks we are all excited about, and hopefully we get a show come All-Star Weekend this year. And speaking of shows, like Andrew Wiggins, John Wall was also considered the near unanimous #1 player in the nation during his senior year of high school. I say near because for some reason ESPN had him ranked as number 5, but regardless of this, Wall is the first player on this list whose mixtape hype has really matched the level of play that he has brought to the NBA. Now, I have covered John Wall on this channel before, as he did go from a criminal in his youth with the nickname Crazy J to one of the most exciting high school players in America. And his mixtape from April of 2009 currently has 9.5 million views on YouTube, which is amazing. And John Wall was a player who had to completely rebrand himself to appeal to the best of the best. He had many obstacles to overcome in life, and now has currently made over $145 million in the NBA. It was in high school, though, that we first began to see his dazzling speed and crafty offensive moves combined with his playmaking and incredible leaping ability. It is because John Wall was the complete package that his high school mixtape will be remembered for all of basketball eternity. And as for what Wall said was his biggest lesson he learned before college, you have to make sacrifices and trust in the right people. You have to know who to trust and have people in your circle who are real. Now, the reason I include this is that despite having talent that was rarely seen at the high school level, John Wall almost blew his chances at the NBA with a rocky start to his high school career. There were even times when Wall was in the 9th and 10th grade when, after getting benched, he would purposely move to the end of the bench and eat Skittles while his teammates were huddled during timeouts. At that point, he was immature and had a lot to learn, but as we all know, John Wall would turn things around and his high school career would end on a positive note as a unanimous top 5 prospect in the country. And in his last home game, Wall would hit a free throw to put his team up 2 with 13.5 seconds left, and then blocked a pass on the other end of the floor to win the game. From there, Wall would go on to play at Kentucky for Coach John Calipari, and coincidentally, the next player on our list, Derrick Rose, also played for Calipari. Now, in the modern NBA, Rose is one of the most beloved players in the entire league, and looking back at his high school career, nothing really has changed there. Because back when social media was really first getting started in 2006 to 2007, Derrick Rose was one of the first basketball internet sensations, as the dunks he was compiling as a point guard and as a teenager were literally insane. And speaking of insane, it really is incredible just how much Derrick Rose had to overcome to get to the NBA in general. As Rose recalled about growing up in Chicago, "When I was younger, I used to cry about how rough it was. I just wanted to be old enough to get me and my family out of there." And of course, as a future #1 pick and future NBA MVP, Derrick Rose would get his wish. However, there was an adjustment period in high school where he just was not used to the attention, because Rose is an introvert who is somewhat shy of the spotlight, but because of how talented he was, this spotlight would come to him regardless. And in high school, this would certainly happen when he shared the same AAU backcourt as fellow 5-star recruit and current NBA player Eric Gordon. And yes, this was literally an unstoppable duo at the time, and although Rose was camera shy, Gordon loved being in the spotlight, and the two even once destroyed Michael Jordan's sons on a nationally televised game on ESPN. Just watching these clips, you can tell how dominant the two players were when you combined Gordon's overall offensive versatility with the lightning quick speed of Rose. You had an incredible sight to see. As Gordon would recall, quote, "We just played well together. At that time, we just wanted to show people that we're trying to be the best out there." And these two have become one of the greatest backcourts in AAU history, so I would say mission accomplished. Continuing on though, before Demar Derozan became a multiple-time All-Star in the 2010s, he was a high school mixtape legend straight out of Compton, California. And the thing is here, it is actually a miracle DeRozan is even here with us at all. Tattooed on his right wrist is a blessed one, and that is because his mother, Diane, was told by doctors that she would never be able to give birth due to a health defect, but Demar Derozan was born regardless, and as he grew older, word quickly spread throughout Compton about the 12-year-old who could dunk over his father, who was a 6'4" former NFL linebacker. Yes, that was amazing, and DeMar's game would rapidly develop from there. As you can see throughout these high school clips, DeMar was just an offensive superstar, and certainly was a player who, whenever he got the chance, put his athleticism on display for the entire world to see. It was because of this athleticism and offensive game that DeMar also became one of the top recruits in the nation, and it was also around this time that DeMar became best friends with Romeo Miller, aka Lil Romeo. This friendship was actually so close that when DeMar was offered a scholarship to USC, he went to school with the understanding that Lil Romeo would get a basketball scholarship as well. As the USC head coach at the time, Tim Floyd, recalled, Percy Miller said, "DeMar and Romeo are ready to make their decision, and would you like to have them both on scholarship?" I said, absolutely. This is kind of hilarious, as DeMar was able to get a major basketball school to give a scholarship to his friend. This decision would work out for USC, as DeRozan would become a lottery pick in the 2009 draft. Lil Romeo, on the other hand, would play only 19 career minutes for the Trojans. Now, guys, though, we are going to finish this video off with Kyrie Irving, because little did the basketball world know that at the time a young kid walked into St. Patrick's High School after transferring there in the 11th grade, that young kid would become one of the top point guards in the world over 10 years later. As Kyrie's teammate at the time, Christopher Gibson, recalled, quote, "He didn't have facial hair, had a big head, he just looked like a squirrel. We called him Squirrel Boy." Yikes. Kyrie's teammates would not be making fun of him for long, however, as it was clear that once they all practiced together, Kyrie Irving's basketball skill and IQ was just on another level. And when teamed with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, another unanimous top prospect at the time, St. Patrick's would become an absolute basketball powerhouse, which was really no surprise when we look at Kyrie Irving's story. As from an early age, Kyrie's dad instilled an incredible work ethic in Kyrie, and because of this, Kyrie would work relentlessly to become one of the best players in the nation. This relentless work ethic would certainly pay off, as we all know Kyrie Irving is a current NBA all-star level talent and was also a former #1 overall pick, and in high school he was just as impressive. As a junior, Irving would lead the USA East team to a championship victory in the Nike Global Challenge. In that tournament, Kyrie was the MVP with 21.3 points per game, and moving forward in 2010, Kyrie was a part of the United States team that won the gold medal at the FIBA America's Under-18 Championship, which was fitting, because in 2016, Kyrie would help win a gold medal for the United States men's national team at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics, which goes to show, when combined with his NBA championship, I would say that out of every player on this list, Kyrie Irving has been the best. And there we have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you did like this video, make sure to leave a like. It does help out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more basketball videos like this. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.